Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Only Leeds Bros. So yeah, first live we've ever done here in the channel. So yeah, a little bit more kind of a relaxed sort of thing we're looking at and seeing how this live goes and what it's all about. So if you're up and you're awake and you're looking for a little bit of Leeds content, pop in and say hello and we'll have a chat about today's match. So yeah, still feeling it. Went on my little walk and still thinking about the match today, and yeah, still no better for it, and still kind of hurts. And first loss of the season for Leeds United. So where do we go from here? So yeah, look at guys. If you're there, pop in, say hello. Let us know your thoughts on today's match, and we'll get into. We'll have an old chat about it. Kind of got thinking on the walk today is Daniel Farke's position. Is he under a bit of pressure now? Obviously, it's only 4 wins now in the last 14 games, which doesn't look well for Leeds United and Daniel Farke. And I'm definitely not Farke out at the minute, but is his job kind of on the line? Look, we've a massive game now against Cardiff City next away from home. Looks like they're after sacking their manager as well, and they'll obviously have their new manager bounce. So if Leeds go on, they don't win that game, or if Cardiff beat us, Daniel Farke is going to be under serious pressure then, and you know it's going to be tough then to kind of come back from that if we don't beat Cardiff City. So yeah, tough. Hello, Amy in the chat. How are you? What do you think of today's result? And are you Farke in or Farke out? Sorry, guys, still getting used to this whole this live streaming thing. So I'll pop on and give it a shot before we actually go live and do the real thing one of these days. Yeah, so first loss of the season. Doesn't feel good. I was sure we were going to get a result against Burnley today, and I think the most frustrating part of it is like we dominate possession. We actually did play well without getting the goal, and it's a different game. Mateo Joseph scores within the first minute and a half. It's a totally different match, and we kind of have something to defend. But look, I think we've seen this type of performance from Daniel Farke's side all too often. It's we dominate the play. We have the chances. We can see the sloppy goal, and then the opposition then just put banks of 10 behind the ball and just defend and defend. And I think probably for me today, the most concerning thing is Burnley didn't really go ultra defensive. They didn't really have to. They just kind of sat back in a little bit, and we didn't really have any answers to kind of break them down. And if you're going to come up against one of the lower sides that are further down the table, your likes of your QPRs, like Cardiff now as well, I think they're going to sit in as well at home. You kind of need a quality to open them up, and that's probably the most concerning thing for me today is that Boney didn't really do that, and Leeds didn't have any answers for it. And it just felt like today that Boney didn't really have to do much to get the 3 points. They didn't really have to show kind of any sort of impetus on the game. They kind of just sat in, they defended, they frustrated us, and you can kind of see that by Hannibal's kind of antics. So I only kind of got thinking about it as well on the walk. Is I think Hannibal and Brownhill were kind of put out there to kind of shithouse Leeds a little bit today and kind of get underneath the players, get underneath the crowd, and you could see it by Hannibal. Hannibal just reveled in it today, didn't he? And you could see when he was taking off and gone along the back of the south stand and clapping to the crowd on a wind up. Look at Leeds just completely played into Burnley's hands today, and I think that's the most frustrating thing is that it kind of feels like we gifted them 3 points today, that they didn't really have to work for it. You can understand losing football matches. That's part and parcel of it. But that's probably the most concerning thing for me today is that they didn't really have to work for it. And especially coming to Ellen Road last season, it was a really, really hard place to come. We only lost 2 games at home. And like there we are, like already, like Portsmouth got away with a point. They very easily could have had 3. Burnley bet us today. So it is a bit of a concern now, our home form. Like it's kind of built on that. Like if you're going to go get promotion, you more or less you have to be winning all your home games and at least picking up a point away from home. So I think that's probably the most concerning thing for me. Yeah, guys, if you're there, if you're live, pop in, let us know your thoughts on today's match and on Daniel Farke. I think for me the pressure is well and truly on Farke now, and I'm definitely not Farke out because I think if you do sack Daniel Fark at this stage, you're kind of hitting the reset button. Like who's out there, players gonna have to learn a new style of playing. I just think it's a very risky business. Like Daniel Fark has proven himself at this level. He's obviously won it twice. He's got promoted out of this division twice, and the 90 points last season. I know we kind of bang on about this 90-point trophy, but at the end of the day, it still is a big achievement to get 90 points in the championship division. So I'm still very much Fark in. Today was a bad loss. I am kind of sick of seeing his droid football. I think his football can be very boring at times. The slow kind of building up from the back. We did see that at Norwich, and we are seeing it now at Leeds. And I think that it's playing into the opposition's hands the way he's trying to do the slow build up play from the back, because it's letting them kind of sit in, and we're finding it very hard to break the opposition down. So yeah, I think Daniel Fark is more or less to blame for me today for that performance. I don't think it was the players. It definitely looked more of a instruction from the manager, to kind of the slow build up from the back. So yeah, frustrating day all around. Couple of yous in the chat there, guys. Pop in, say hello. Let us know how you're feeling. How's it going, Danny? Danny Talksport. How are you, mate? What's your thoughts on today's result, Danny? Are you Fark in or Fark out, or what? What's your feelings on him at the minute, Danny? Yeah, guys, so I said, this is kind of just a bit of a relaxed stream. It's the first time we've gone live here on Only Leeds Bros. We've had done our pre-recorded videos before that we've put out, so we're kind of just playing with it, with the idea of going live and getting you guys involved a little bit more. So we're more relaxed kind of stream tonight. So if you're in the chat, yeah, pop in, say hello, and we'll kind of have a relaxed conversation. Nothing too serious. What did everyone think of Ampadu's performance today? I've kind of seen online a few people were kind of happy with his performance, that he's kind of pushing forward. It was kind of the furthest up the park that we've seen Ampadu. I've obviously been delighted with that. But for me today, I thought that was probably one of Ampadu's poorest performance in a league short. I thought, lucky he tried, and he did look a bit busy, but I thought an awful lot of his passes, like all the Leeds players, were kind of very much astray. I thought he was forcing it a little bit too much, and to me, the Ampadu and Gruev, that the two that are sitting in there, it's basically kind of like the way England play. You've kind of two sitting defensive midfielders, and we don't really have anything from the middle of the park like a Matthias Click that can kind of go and break the lines. It's fairly frustrating. Yeah, Danny, I agree with you. Yeah, look, I'm definitely farking as well. I don't think we can afford to sack him. And we've obviously seen with the 49ers, we're definitely playing within the PRS. If we're sacking Daniel Farke, it's going to be a big payout. And then, like, who do you go get? Like, who's out there? Like, we even seen with Bielsa, like how good Bielsa was. It took him 2 seasons to get out of this division, and he was an absolute genius. Water into wine stuff from Bielsa. So, like, I'm still Farke at the minute. Look, it's only the first loss of the season, and I wouldn't be sacking him yet. Not on my watch. Any as frustrating as today is, and as much as I think today was definitely his fault, the way he set up the team. His substitutions weren't great either. I thought, again, they're very late. We can all kind of see it as fans that he's kind of waiting to the 75th minute to bring it on, and it's well too late. Joel Pirro just didn't make any impact on the game whatsoever. I was actually kind of happy enough to see Joe Rotwell coming on, because we haven't seen much of him, and I was kind of looking to kind of see what he could do. Joe Rotwell didn't really do much. The Boyum substitution was a little bit kind of strange, because I thought Firpo was probably our kind of outlet at the left wing. He was trying to get forward. He looked a bit busy, and kind of bringing Boyer on as a very kind of defensive player, that was a little bit strange. And whether that got to do with Firpo having a yellow card, and obviously tiredness comes into it. Is Firpo going to go pick up a yellow card and a suspension? So maybe it was that on Fark's head that he was thinking, kind of, let's take Firpo out of the firing line and bring Boyer on to kind of help him out there. I'm not too sure. Mm. Yeah, absolutely, Danny. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And Do you know what it is, Danny? When you look at the squad that Bielsa inherited with the likes of your Aylan, Cooper, Dallas, and when we look back at them now, we look at them fondly. But if you try and think of the likes of Cooper, Aylan, Dallas, Alioski, Soyez, Click, them type of players before Bielsa came anywhere near them. No other championship side would have touched them with a barge pole. But if you look at the side now that Daniel Farke has, he 100% has a better squad than what Bielsa has. And last season, to me, it's absolutely criminal that we didn't get promoted out of this division with the squad that we had. And Daniel Farke has to be doing a better job. Yeah, I agree with you. And I'm looking forward to seeing Smith as well. Look, it is it a thing that Daniel Farke is still kind of holding on back. Look, he had the international break. He had 14 days to obviously try and get fit, get into the squad, and he's bringing Boyer on in a game like that today. To me, is that a game to bring Boyer on when you're chasing it? No, not really. Smith probably would have been the right call, but it kind of felt like at that stage of the game. I don't know what you think about Danny. It kind of felt like to me that he was just chucking players on for the sake of putting players on. There wasn't really any sort of structure to the play. I think at one stage when he took Rodham off, whether it's that's to do with the collision on the head, and then he was after pulling Gruev back then into right centre back. So it was a little bit kind of, for me, towards the end of the game when he was bringing Boyer on, it was like he was trying. It was like Norwich. Remember when we bet Norwich away from home? It kind of felt like that he was just kind of just chucking players on and hoping for the best. There was no real kind of thoughts or structure behind it for me. Yeah, yeah. Do you remember you're saying there about Calvin Phillips? I don't know if you remember Danny, mate. Do you remember that summer there was a lot of talk between Phillips and Alex Moa, and it was essentially between the two of them being sold, and Alex Moa was sold. And I remember at the time being a Leeds fan and the Leeds fan base, we were all up in arms that Alex Moa was sold, and we kept KP because basically his performance was shy. I think he only got the goal, his first goal away from Cardiff, and we were all kind of a little bit like, how are we keeping Calvin Phillips and Alex Mowatt go? But then you you look what Bielsa did to Phillips, like, and he would have thought that he was going to turn Phillips into a defensive midfielder. He certainly didn't, because before he came in, Phillips was kind of seen as like a number 10 player, a kind of box to box midfielder, getting forward, scoring goals. But it just shows Bielsa like he just seen what others didn't, wasn't it? Yeah, Hero, mate. Look, myself and Dylan, I don't know if you watch the channel much, Danny. Myself and Dylan have had numerous conversations on Joel Pirro, and look at if you going back to last summer when Leeds signed Joel Pirro, I was absolutely ecstatic. I was like, and you know yourself being a Leeds fan, Leeds never just go out and do the obvious thing, and we were crying out for a centre forward for a long time. Not even to come in and take Bamford's place, but to kind of come in and challenge him because he was hot and cold, he was injured. So when Pirro was bought last summer, being the championship top goal scorer, I was absolutely ecstatic. I was like, I was like, just give us the league now. Like we're gonna absolutely romp it. And then I remember after the first 2 or 3 matches, and he was scoring goals and he was assisting, but just looking at his overall play, it was really, really hard to see how he kind of fits into this squad. And I watched him a little bit at Swansea, and he was very much the player that was finishing off the attacks. He was the one at the end of them at the edge of the box, and they used to play wide. They used to kind of play a 4-3-3, and he'd be the kind of the center point of that. And he used to very much get the balls out wide, and he was always the man in the box finishing it. And it was like it was awesome. I remember we kind of had the whole discussion last year when he was playing George up top and Pirro went behind, and we were all kind of very frustrated as Leeds fans. Like, why isn't he playing Pirro up top? You can see that he doesn't give that kind of pressing style as what Farke wants. And I think that's where I'm kind of struggling to think, was Farke or was Pirro a Daniel Farke sign, and was he a board sign? And did the board kind of look at it? Look, we kind of need to make a statement sign here. We kind of know the loan clauses. We know what's going ahead. So was Pirro a sign, and just to kind of appease the fan base looking at it? I do think there's a player in there in Joe Pirro. Look, don't get me wrong, we've seen his finishing against Hull. Like, you give him a sniff around the box or inside the box, the ball's in the back of the net. I just think when Joe Pirro is on the pitch, and again today, he was sitting in that number 10, he didn't have any influence on the game whatsoever. And I do think when we are playing Joe Pirro that we have to play to his strengths, because he will get your goals for me, mate. Yeah, definitely. Danny, you're saying your first time here, pop in and watch more. It's the first channel. Myself and Dylan only set it up there about 3 weeks ago. And we just set it up for a bit of crack, a bit of laugh. We're just two brothers and like yourself, mate. We live, breathe, and eat Leeds United. And we'd after games and before games, we'd be sending voice notes to each other, calls, texts, whatever. And we actually were sitting down one night, believe it or not, just having a couple of drinks, and we just turned out to each other. You know what we should do? We should just set up a YouTube channel, and two of us kind of laughed at that, and then we kind of got up the next day. And we're like, we do it, and we just it kind of just went from there. So the two of us are enjoying it, and we're actually enjoying it a lot more than what we thought we would. And yeah, so we're hoping to kind of get into this the whole live kind of situation, and see where it kind of takes us, mate. Yeah, 38 years a Leeds fan. Yeah, I'm 30 this year, mate. I've been a Leeds fan all my life, but I remember the first game we ever went to, it was Leeds against Shelbourne in Talca Park, and I think it was 2000. Leeds played against Dublin City, and that was the likes. We had Alan Smith there, Mark Viduka, and it was obviously heavily Irish. So you'd had the likes of your Gary Kelly, Ian Hart, McPhail, Robbie Keane was there as well. So it was soon as I seen Leeds play, that was it. I kind of fell in love with them. And the first time my dad ever brought me to Ellen Road was our first year in the championship, and we lost 4-0 to Sheffield United. And I remember coming out of the East Stand, and myself and my dad was standing at the Bremner statue, and he turned and said to me, he goes, "You're not going to support Leeds now." And I was just like, yeah, I loved it. I didn't care about the result. I just remember the atmosphere of Ellen Road. We got hammered 4-0, but I didn't care. So it's Leeds is either for you. It's what my dad always said. It's made for you. It's not, you either get it or you don't. So yeah, that's the way it is. What game were you at, Danny? Was it the one in Talca Park, or was it the 4-0 loss to Sheffield United? That was under what I think Blackwell was the manager at that time. And it was actually mad because I remember Aaron Lennon being my favourite player at the time. And I only read, I don't know if you've seen it, his podcast there. I did an interview with Rio Ferdinand, and he talked about how I think it was every fourth match, or if he played 5 consecutive games, he got like 100,000 bonus or something like that. And I remember that game. I was so looking forward to seeing Aaron Lennon play, and he didn't start. And then the whole of Ellen Road was just chanting Aaron Lennon's name. And eventually they brought him on, and he just like he lit the game up. Like Leeds, we were already 3 or 4 down at that stage, and yeah, just mad times at Ellen Road back then. Yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah, Leeds just chooses you. It's just in it, like, just in you, isn't it? Like, and that's what I think. I like being a Leeds fan, because like I'm sure it's the same as you, Danny. Like most of your mates are probably Scum fans, Liverpool, Arsenal. They're not Leeds, and they don't really get it. And then you'll see someone, when you be talking about the match, you'll be like, "Oh, I watched the Arsenal game the weekend." They're like, "No, I didn't watch it." Like, you're an Arsenal fan, or you'll talk to a United fan, and they're like 30, and they haven't even been in Old Trafford, and you're like, "Yeah, right, you're a United fan, yeah." Yeah, Leeds is just different. Even though it brings you a lot of heartache, I wouldn't change it for the world. Yeah, that's exactly it, mate. It's glory hunters, absolutely glory hunter, and that's what we didn't get it when we got promoted after 16 years. It was just the best feeling in the world. I know it was locked down, but like, just you wouldn't change it for the world, would you? Like, you can't beat it whatsoever. Danny, what was your feeling on Joe Rodon today? What are you making of his performance so far? Me at the minute, I just think the Joe Rodon of last season just hasn't been there. Yeah, it's just typical, isn't it? The course of signing a loan player. We eventually sign him on a contract, and he just doesn't seem to be showing it so far for us. Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, he hasn't been the same since we signed him, and it's not like he's been kind of leading directly to like making any sort of like critical mistakes or leading any goals. But for me, he doesn't seem as solid. You remember like last summer, it was like any ball that came near him, he was winning it. Any header, he was winning it. You could see him kind of like pulling the defense around. He'd be talking to people. He just seems real kind of like timid. Like I don't know. He just doesn't seem like there was confidence there about him. I don't know what it is. He doesn't seem his usual self. But I seen a tweet, and like just can't get it on my head. It was just like Leeds gave Joe Ron on the number 6 shirt, and he turned into Liam Cooper, and I'm just like, I just can't get it out of my head. And look, I love Liam Cooper. He's been a class servant to the club, but I just can't get it. I just can't get that tweet out of my head whatsoever. Mm. Yeah, yeah, I agree, mate. I think I was kind of very skeptical of Melee after we got relegated from the Premier League, and when we went down to the Championship, I thought at the time it was time to cut ties with Melee. I don't think he's good enough for Premier League football. He's okay Championship level, but like that today, I don't think the goal today was his fault. But his positioning definitely could be a lot better, and I do think he is going to cost us points as what he did last season. I don't know if you remember the game and down in Norwich, the playoff semi final, like he was just so ropey that day, and that's the type of games that Melee is going to give you. And I do think if we do get promoted to the Premier League, I don't think he's going to make that step up. He's just not good enough for me. His distribution has gone very poor as well, and I think that was one of his main attributes when he first came into the side under Bielsa. Remember that FA Cup game at Arsenal? His distribution was unbelievable. His kicking, and I remember looking at him going, "Whoa, this guy is going to be the next Edison." His kicking was just unbelievable, and that's just gone completely. His throwing is atrocious. He won't come out and catch the ball. It seems to be just all punching. Again, whether that's coming from the manager, whether it's instructions or tactics, whatever it may be. But there's a lot of corners and crosses that he's coming for, and he seems to be punching rather than handling them and taking the pressure off. So, yeah, I'm not too gone on Melee anymore, and I think you're right. I think the defense as a whole, I don't think they're very confident in Melee for me. But the other side of it as well, look how solid Joe Rodon was when he still was there last season. Do you know what I mean? And is it a thing that his mate Eaton Ampadu has after been taken out there, he's playing in the middle of the park, and look, a strike for me has probably been our best player. He goes unnoticed because obviously he's a defender, but for me, Pascal Strike has been has been solid for us. But is it just that chemistry between the two of them there that's not really working? Do you know what I mean? Mm. He's holding on to catch it. Yeah, yeah. Look, it has to be Danny, mate. There's no way that you're a goalkeeper and you're coming out and you can clearly catch the ball and you're punching. And there's times there where there's just no one around him. He's under no pressure and he's deciding to come and punch you. So for me, it has to be some sort of instruction from management or the coach, and whether it's to try and a quick break or get the second ball to move it quick. I don't know what it is, but for me, it just does make sense. Like maybe it's just I'm not that old, but maybe it's just an old fashioned thing of or so Sunday league thing. It's just like you want your keeper to catch the ball, take the pressure off your defense, calm down, reset, and go again. I don't know what the thought is behind it to try and punch it, and it's a very risky situation because it could very easily drop to one of their players, and the pressure is still on you. So for me, it's very it's very ropey tactic if that's what he's been told to do. You're a goalkeeper yourself, Danny, were you? Mm. Yeah, exactly. And like I remember, like I had a growing up. I played for a local football club in Donabay, Portran, and we had a very old school manager. And obviously, this is like way off topic, but like I always remember him telling our goalkeepers when you were coming out, you take absolutely everyone and everything with you. It was like the knee up, and you're cleaning everybody out of it. And you don't really have that kind of commandingness from goalkeepers nowadays. It's very rare that you see that, especially from Melia. Like when I think of Ilan Melia, if you turn around and say to me, "Does he command his box?" I say, "No." For me, like he doesn't. It seems like the others around him try and command his box, and I think that's massive. I think when you look back to probably our best goalkeeper, Nigel Martin, like how well did he command his box? He was a talker, and I think that's what's missing from this lead side at the moment. Farke went on last season about the inexperience of the squad. And as much as I think the quality of the squad has gone up this year, I just think we're really missing leaders in the squad. Like there today, like Solomon and Hannibal had a bit of a go together. And if that's like your teammate and you see your teammate potentially getting a headbutt or a square, but like you're straight in there, you're sorting it out. I didn't see anyone doing that today. And as much as I like Ethan Ampadu as a captain, I just don't think he kind of has that, that kind of bit of nastiness about him that you need in this division to get out of this division. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Like I remember we had Kasper Schmeichel for a season, and he was probably like the only keeper. I love Nigel Martin, but since Nigel Martin, like I love Kasper Schmeichel last season. And then when we sold him, I think we sold him for 1 million. to Leicester City. Like I was just absolutely like dumbfounded. I couldn't believe we sold Casper Schmeichel, and then look at the career that he went on to have. Like that just it still pains me when I think back to that, and that goes under the radar when Casper Schmeichel was sold. But I think it was probably one of Leeds' biggest downfall because he was a class goalkeeper. But then he came out to say that he was essentially forced out of the club as well. So yeah, it doesn't make for good reading, does it? Yeah, yeah. I remember reading something at the time about him. He was asking to leave Leeds. I don't know how true it was because at the time the board, well, look, the club are always going to turn around and say that the player wanted to leave, but then he did come out years later say that he wanted to leave. But I remember being in Ellen Road, and it was probably Rott's first game, but he was only fairly new at Leeds, and I remember being in the cop close to the front, and the whole of Ellen Road was singing "Your Dad's It" and "So Are You," and it was obviously light-hearted from the Leeds fans, but it was basically the Leeds fans turning around saying, "Look, your dad's an ex-scorer. You're not getting it easy here. You're going to have to prove yourself." But look, he obviously just took it. Yeah, didn't take it too light-hearted, and yeah, I suppose that was kind of the make or break of it, wasn't it? But then at the time, we had Alex Bruce playing for us as well, who was obviously an ex-scummer as well. And I think it was Danny Pugh. I think Danny Pugh was there as well. We were just like a team full of scum rejects at the time. Yeah, really, really bad times around Ellen Road. But do you know, they actually look back on them days kind of fondness because they were the days you didn't have to worry about a ticket. You could just book a flight, go over to Leeds, go to the ticket office, buy your ticket, go into the match, and there was probably 18 to 20 odd thousand there, and the atmosphere used to just be class. I was in Ellen Road a good bit last season. I was in Ellen Road for the Plymouth game at home, and it was very, very flat, very, very flat Ellen Road, and it's not something that you're kind of used to seeing at Ellen Road. I was there for the playoff semi final against Norwich, and the place is absolutely rocking. The best atmosphere I've ever been in my life. But yeah, I think you can't say the League One days were the good old days, but definitely the atmosphere was a lot better in Ellen Road back in them days. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you, Danny, mate. Like I've been on the season ticket list for the Gary Monk days, and look, I don't think I'll ever get a season ticket, but I have the membership plus, and it's like every time you're going up to Leeds, you book your flights, and every time you're going up to Leeds, you're on the website and you're trying to get tickets, and there's times you obviously don't get it, and then you enter the ballot, and then there's times there that I've had to buy the Champions travel for 300 quid, you know what I mean, to go to games. The first game last season at home to Cardiff, didn't get a ticket and had to buy the Champions travel. Me and my wife both went over, and we did the hospitality in the Aboa Crossbar, and I think it was about 200 each. It was 200 each we paid, but yeah, it's just it's an absolute nightmare trying to get to Ellen Road these days, and that's what kind of annoys me when you kind of see all these fans coming out of the woodwork, that weren't there in the League One days when we were playing Stockport County at home and Hereford and Carlisle, and yeah, drives me up the wall. Now, Amy Tolan says, "What's your thoughts on Patrick Bamford? Do you mean Patrick Bamford as a player, Patrick Bamford contract, Patrick Bamford's good looks?" What do you mean? Your thoughts on Patrick Bamford? Danny says, "I think we should play Bamford and Joseph up front. As well as Oxboy defenders leaving space for." Yeah, I've actually seen this a bit, Danny. I've had seen a couple of takes on playing Bamford and Joseph up front together. I'm not too sure, and I would like to see it and see how it works out. Maybe in an FA Cup game, if we could get a look at it. In the league, I don't think Daniel Farke is going to try. I think it's well too risky to try him, and I think that's with Matteo Joseph last year. I think he thought it was very risky because he obviously played him in the cup game against Chelsea, and I do think he thought it was very risky to play Matteo Joseph. Was he ready yet? And as much as us as fans were crying out to get Matteo Joseph in, I don't think it was the right time for him to put him into the firing line, and I don't think he's gonna risk it in the league putting Bamford and Joseph up front together. I'd be more willing or more wanting to see a Joseph and Pirro up front together, because I do think Pirro would be a lot better with someone up there with him. Yeah, yeah, no, I do agree. we can't rely on Joseph at all. Look, he only has one goal. To me, look, he has been playing well. He obviously should have scored today, but look, he still is young. He's a lot to learn, and he's been thrown at the deep end. He's learning his trade on the job. But I do think his general play and all round performances, I think, are very good. He battles with defenders. He runs the channels. His movement is good. And if he is learning off the likes of Patrick Bamford, look at to me, Patrick Bamford's movement is second to none. Is absolutely quality. It's just his finishing end of things can be very inconsistent. Let's just say. What did you think of Ampadu and Gruev in the centre of the park? Is for me, I probably think it's time to change it. I think probably the next match away to Cardiff, would like to see a Tanaka in there, or even a Rotwell ahead of Gruev. As much as Gruev played well today, well, look at Ampadu might have picked up the injury. That's why he might have been taken off. But I do think it's probably time to change the middle of the park for me. Yeah, yeah, Amy, I do. Yeah, look, I think everyone knows Patrick Bamford's injury record, and that kind of seems to be the problem. He's very injury prone. He's very inconsistent. My only kind of disagreement with that is when Bamford was in the squad last year. That's when we went on our 13 game unbeaten run, and it's obviously not solely down to him. I just do think he leads the line very well. He has the experience. So my kind of argument with Patrick Bamford is that he's never going to make 46 games. He'd be lucky to give you 10, 15 games in a row. He is very injury prone. And when you have a player like him on £40,000 a week and to be injured or sitting on the bench, you know what I mean? That's kind of my kind of argument to it. And it's probably why the club didn't invest on another striker in the summer, if we're going to be honest, is because of the wages that Patrick Bamford is on. So Danny says, who are the new signings are you looking forward to, and which of them do you think is the best player out of the lot of them? Well, the new signings has to be Ramazani, mate, doesn't it? I think Ramazani just looks the part, doesn't he? I don't know what it is about him. It's like the high knee socks, the white bands around his wrist. He looks the part, and he hasn't got much. He obviously came on against Hull. He looked busy. He looks absolutely rapid, to be honest with you, mate. Look at Somerville was quick, but he looks absolutely rapid when he gets going. He came on there today and he did a little run in the box. I don't think he got much time at all. He came on in difficult circumstances today when we were kind of chasing the match. The game was pretty much sewn up by Burnley, and I think if you had brought Ramazani on a bit early, maybe with 30 minutes to go, we might have seen a bit of a spark out of him. There has to be a shake-up for Daniel Farke now against Cardiff for me. He can't go out with the starting lineup. There definitely has to be a shake-up. And then yeah, we've yet to see Tanaka much. He obviously came on against Hull, and his passing was just unbelievable. He just moved us so well. And what I liked about Tanaka when he came on against Hull, even though we were winning the game and it was sold up, and this probably plays into it a little bit, there wasn't sideways and back passing. When he was getting it, his first touch was progressive. What I mean, he wasn't negative with his first touch. He was looking to get forward. He was passing the ball forward. He was looking to find the pass forward, and that's what I liked about Tanaka. So I am looking forward to seeing Tanaka. I don't really know much about him. I've seen a couple of kind of clips on him online, and I did watch him then for Japan when he came on. So he does look good. I am looking to see Tanaka. I'm just more kind of struggling to see where Farke is going to get me into the side. If you get me, and we kind of know Farke, he can be kind of very stubborn with things like this. But I would like to see, Tanaka sooner rather than later for me. So Dan says Ramazani is quicker than Dan James. Imagine the two of them made a wing. Yeah, exactly. And you know what, mate? For me, Dan James, I feel so sorry on that guy, because what this club put him through, like when you think of when we tried to sign him when he was at Swansea, he obviously went to Scum, had a torrid time. His dad passed away then. He ended up coming to Leeds. He was kind of thrown under the bus because Bielsa kind of had to play him up front, which wasn't his position. Then he came in under Jesse Marsh playing penis ball when there was no width in it whatsoever, which isn't Daniel James's game. Then he was thrown on loan to Fulham, and then I kind of thought that was his career ended at Leeds United, and I felt really, really bad on him. And then he came back and he did really well last season, and I was delighted to see him do so well. And he was so unlucky with his chance off the crossbar at Wembley, because he would have went down in Leeds folklore, even if that went 1-1 and went to extra time and we lost on penalties. I think like we would have remembered that goal forever. So it's just them that fine lines with Dan James. And I was devastated to hear that he was injured, and then to hear that he's at the re-injuring and he's out till after the international break, because I think Dan James does give you that something a little bit different. And in a game like today, where you kind of have his pace, where Burnley were kind of out a little bit, that's where the switch of play can get Dan James in behind, and yeah, he can be a real threat. He just gives us that something different and an outlet as well. So yeah, I'm raging to see Dan James injured and out after the international break. And as much as we kind of have cover on the wings in Solomon and Ramazani, we've not out there as well. I'm raging that Dan James out, because I'm really starting to get a soft spot for Dan James, which I didn't think I would when we signed him from Scum. Says Dan James plays today, then Bogle doesn't get the heat counter attack. Yeah. But talking about Bogle, mate, what have you thought of Bogle's performances so far? For me, I think it's been very he's been very kind of hit and miss. He's been okay, but to be honest with you, I've expected a bit more from Bogle, to be honest with you. Look, what I seen him last year in the Premier League for Sheffield United, he hasn't been great. Like, he hasn't really been giving us much going forward. He could have scored against Hull, the one that he smacked with the side net, when he could have squared it to Aronson, and then he was caught out a few times at the back there today as well. So yeah, I think for me, Bogle, kind of for the excitement when we originally signed him, when he came in, the kind of performance levels he's putting out on it, for me, it's a bit of a disappointment so far with Bogle. I'm really hoping that he can kind of sort it out, and I'm kind of starting to compare him to kind of Barry Douglas. Remember, we signed Barry Douglas from Wolves when he came in. We were like, lovely, a left back, and can kind of give us something different. I was kind of under the same kind of feeling of Jayden Bogle. I just hope it doesn't kind of end the same as Barry Douglas, where he's kind of in and out of the side and kind of very inconsistent with us. Dan says Bogle is better going forward and he is going backwards. Yeah, I agree with you, mate, 110%. And look, at that's the day of modern football, isn't it? If you're a fullback now or you're a wing back, it's about what he can give going forward and not going back. I do think it's a bit kind of like Trent, isn't it? Like, he's I'm kind of comparing Jade Bogle to Trent here, but like, do you know what I mean? It's like Trent can kind of, he gets a bit of criticism for his defending, but Trent can kind of give you that extra going forward. I mean, his crossing ability is unbelievable. He can go up with goals and assists and a set piece play, and that's what I'm kind of thinking. If Bogle was kind of giving us that bit extra kind of going forward, like, you can kind of forgive his defending. Do you know what I mean? I thought he was poor for the goal. I understand with the defending that he kind of had to cover the centre, sort of wasn't an easy square ball on, but I do think when he did cover it, he was very slow to come across, and when he did come across, he was very timid. He opened his legs and turned his body, where we're obviously all taught as defenders from juvenile age, just kind of stand them up, be strong, you know what I mean, side on, and he didn't do that. So yeah, for me, Bogle hasn't been great whatsoever. Would you give Firpo a new contract? It's a tough one for me, mate, because I think if you asked me this time last year, I would have said no. But now he's definitely probably one of the best. Well, yeah, for me, he's the best left back in the championship, and he's been classed so far this season. My only kind of negative on Firpo is he picks up well too many yellow cards. Like there again today, it's just a needless yellow. Like, he's quick enough to make up that ground, and I think that's 3 yellows he has so far, another 2, and he's suspended, and that's what kind of it grinds me gears about Firpo a little bit. He just picks up stupid yellows. I wouldn't mind if he was kind of like a Berardi-esque kind of, you know what I mean, going in and kind of leaving it on someone and picking up yellow cards, because obviously we love that about Lee. It's heart on the sleeve. It's a silly kind of needless yellows that he's picking up, kind of annoys me a little bit. And I do think in the Premier League, we obviously seen him in the Premier League. I do think he gets found out a lot more in the Premier League. That's kind of my thoughts on Firpo. And if we do get promoted to the Premier League, do we want Firpo being our left back again? You know, is it another experiment worth risking? Do you know what I mean, when we go up there? Yeah, I agree with 100%, mate. He's definitely been our best player. Like, even towards the end of last season, I thought Firpo's quality, but I'm trying to put levels on it here and kind of think, look, it's championship level, and is this kind of his level, and kind of all the noise kind of seems to be coming out of the club that he's potentially looking at a move back to Real Betis, and is he kind of looking to run down his contract? I would be sad to see him go, but the other side of it is, well, if we're in the championship again next season, I'd be like, yeah, I'd love to keep him, but is Fairport going to give you another season in the championship? And then on the flip side, if you get promoted, are you going to have Fairport as your starting left back in the Premier League? You know, starting the Premier was cover. Yeah, look, 100% that have was cover every day of the week. Yeah, definitely 110%. If he was willing to stay and fight for his place, and then obviously willing to be that role when he's not starting, is obviously another thing. We're obviously going through this similar thing with Max Wallberg there at the minute. We obviously know the talent that Max Wallberg has, and for him to be on the bench for our championship side is a bit mental when you think about it, but it's because everything he's done, he's left us, he has to bide his time and wait till he gets an opportunity to get back into the starting lineup. He got a chance against Middlesbrough. For me, he didn't take it. He's injured now, so yeah, Max Wallberg is kind of in the same kind of sort of ilk as Fairport. If he did go to the Premier League, is he willing to kind of stick around? For me, Max Wallberg probably goes in January. I'm very, very surprised he didn't go towards the end of the window. But for me, I can't see Max Wallberg playing much unless there's an injury, and even if there is, it's probably going to be Ampadu stepping back in there if Strike or Rodon get injured. I can't see Max Wallberg getting much time on the pitch, to be honest with you, me. It's actually going to kill this live stream. It's cool to kind of get other people's opinions and myself and Dylan kind of bouncing off each other. Amy Tolan says, don't rate Wallberg. Yeah, look, I think his quality is there. You can't deny it. I do think he is a little bit slow, which is obviously isn't great, especially for Premier League. You definitely get away with a Championship. Premier League, you kind of need to have. You don't have to be rapid, but you do have to be fairly quick. And I don't think Wallberg is kind of very quick on his toes. He does make up for that a little bit more in his positional sense. But yeah, for me, I'm just not a fan of Max Wallberg at all, and it probably has a lot to do with last season and the way he left us and the way he walked out. I can't kind of warrant him whatsoever. Dan says if Ford Ampadu would have gone in between defence with Rodon, went off, grew off. Yeah, I thought so too, mate. But it looks like Ampadu took a bit of a bad bang. I don't know if you've seen the tackle on his ankle today. It looked a bit of a nasty one. It was kind of his own fault because it was obviously you could kind of see Hannibal giving a bit to the Leeds players today, and I think when Ampadu seen him with the ball, I think Ampadu kind of thought in his head, right, I'm going to leave one on him here, and he kind of ended up leaving one on himself, and he was struggling a little bit after that. You could see he played a long crossfield ball, and after he played, he kind of went and held the ankle, and then a few minutes later, one of the Burnley lads, I think it could have been Josh Brownhill, kind of stood on the ankle as well again. So for me, I was very, very surprised to see Ampadu coming out in the second half. I thought we were going to see Tanaka, but it could have been a thing. And Ampadu, being the captain, he was in the dressing room going, yeah, strap it up and I'll get on with it in the second half and go again. What do you think, mate? Do you think at halftime, myself and Dylan, I don't know if we did a bit of a kind of watch along earlier on, the video isn't out yet, but myself and Dylan at halftime, we're going to turn around saying he needs to change it up. There needs to be changes made at halftime, and knowing Daniel Farke, we just knew he wasn't going to do it. But for me, it was crying out that he should have made changes at halftime for me. I thought the front three behind Joseph were perfect. Ramazani, Solomon and Nanto, I thought they were class. But I just think in the middle of the park between Gruev and Nanto, I just think we were kind of having very similar players in there doing the same thing. And I do think that's what we're missing in there. We need that kind of progressive midfielder like the Mateus click that can go forward with and can drive. And I don't think Gruev and Ampadu give you that. They'll try and do it, but naturally I don't think both of them are good at doing that. And maybe that's where Tanaka or Rotwell can come in just to give us that little bit extra and that little bit different going forward. Thought we should have gone off half time. We should have tackled look nasty. Yeah, 100%. Danny says that Ampadu should have come off at half time. The tackle did look nasty. Yeah, 100%. I would have at half time. I would have changed it, but was it a thing? Ampadu was in the dressing room, being club captain, saying no, I'm going back on, and we know Daniel Farke just hates to make changes anywhere before 70th minute. So was it a thing that he was kind of saying, yeah, strap it up, go back out, see how you are? And you could see in the second half, Ampadu just wasn't there. There was a couple of his kind of simple passing, he's great long range passing on him, but his kind of little kind of bread and butter passes where his 5, 10 yard passes weren't really making it, or he wasn't really pinging them or zipping them the way he usually would, and he was giving it away a little bit. And that's when I said to Dylan, I was like, I think it's time to whip Ampadu off here. But it was very, very late on. He took him off. So let's hope he's going to be all right for Cardiff, because it did look like a nasty one. Where are you from, Danny, mate? Are you from Leeds, or are you from Ireland? Yeah, so Ronald's okay for the Cardiff game. Look, a bad knocked his head. Yeah, he took a bad bang, didn't he? Rode on. He did. He took a bad bang, all right, and kind of seems to be becoming accustomed with Joe Rodon to kind of have them bandages on his head. He should just stick the bandage on the head before he even goes out to play the match. But yeah, I suppose I don't know what way it's going to work with the whole concussion kind of thing. Will he be okay? And that let's see if he is, because look, as much as for me, Rodon hasn't been the same sort of player for us as he was last year. He's still a massive miss. Like, who else can kind of play right of defence? You know, it's probably going to be Ampadu and strike, which again, Ampadu could be injured. So yeah, it could be a couple of changes for Cardiff. Never knows. I said, I'm from Leeds, being a season ticket holder since the O'Leary days. Happy days, Danny. Where's the season ticket? Where's your seat in Ellen Road? That's class, mate. That's every Leeds fan's dream. That's only down the road from you. There's a lot of us over here in Ireland that would love Ellen Road just to be on our doorstep. Self and Dylan are heading over to the Sheffield United game now, the 18th of October, and my wife, she'll kill me for not mentioning her. Myself, Dylan, and my wife are heading over to the Sheffield United game now in October, so hoping to get tickets for that. Amy Town says, where do you think the talks of the expansion of Ellen Road sounds positive? Just made a cup maple now in the stand near the cheese wedge. Yeah, Amy, I think the expansion of Ellen Road is obviously it's well overdue for me. I'm two sides, because I love Ellen Road the way it is, and it's old school, and you don't want to change. You've obviously seen some of the new stadiums around. You've obviously seen what Liverpool done to Anfield. Like, Anfield was an unbelievable atmosphere, and as soon as they kind of start expanding and putting all the corporate seats in, Anfield is just absolutely flat with a lot of Liverpool fans, and they just tell me Anfield is now, it literally is a library, and that's not even kind of ripping them off or slagging them. He says we literally just think you never walk alone, and it's gone dead after that. And I think that's probably the one side of me, my fear of when Ellen Road expands, is that kind of going to kill the atmosphere a little bit? Is that going to be them corporate seats in there? And that's kind of my only fear. I love Ellen Road. It's an old school ground. It's kind of, it's hard for away supporters coming to it in fear, and that's kind of my only kind of sort of look. It needs to be expanded at the end of the day. For Ellen Road still only be 36,000, and the outcry for tickets is there. I just hope that they can hold the atmosphere, but again, we've obviously had a little chat about the atmosphere. The atmosphere hasn't been great at Ellen Road for me, for the last season, and I think it's a lot to do with the playing style of Daniel FARKE, the slow kind of build up, the Bourne kind of so look at fans and players, they bounce off each other. If the players aren't giving it to you, the fans aren't going to give it to you. The fans are giving it to you, the players aren't going to give it to you. So it works both ways for me. If you remember, under the Bielsa days, the fast attacking, free flowing football, Ellen Road it was absolutely rocking from start to finish. I remember probably not the best match I've been to, but the second best match I've been to was when we beat West Brom 4-0 to Pablo Hernandez 13 minutes in. Literally got to me seat in the south stand, the beer in my hand, and was after actually jumping from the bottom of the south stand up, but don't tell anyone that. And got to me seat, and the ball was pulled back to Hernandez and took a touch, bang, top corner, and Ellen Road it was rocking that night. And I remember walking out of Ellen Road, and I met this old man coming down the steps. He'd probably kill me for saying that. I'd say he was probably in his late 60s. And helping down the steps of the south stand. And I remember saying to him, he was very playing team. We got ticket, and he was saying he's a season ticket holder for so long. And he turned around and said to me, nights like that tonight reminded me when we were back in the Champions League days. And I was just like, oh, just would have loved to experience it. So yeah, the atmosphere of Ballon Road definitely needs to get itself back together, because that's obviously one of our massive assets, and what us as Leeds fans pride ourselves on is our atmosphere and the nastiness of Ballon Road. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Amy, it isn't a positive as it's going to be many corporate boxes. Yeah, I agree with you, Danny. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of corporate boxes. You're making the West Stand and South Stand the same height as the East Stand. But I don't think it was so the season ticket waiting list, as Kinnear said. Yeah, did you see the Kinnear interview with the Square Ball? I actually thought it was a class interview, and it's kind of becoming a yearly show, isn't it? And kind of us Leeds fans can look forward to getting a couple of answers from the club. But I love the way Dan Moylan pushed them on the season ticket waiting list issue. Obviously, again, as I've been saying, I've been paying for it for the last couple of years and being on the season ticket waiting list, and to not even know where you are when you're paying for a product or paying for something that the club are coming out, to not even know where you are on the list, I think is absolutely mental. So fair play to the lads at the Square Paul for pushing that one with Kinnear. Then he says, I remember the Champions League days, travelling to stadium was like the San Siro. Oh, I don't know, you'd like that on the road. Danny, were you on the San Siro for the Don Matteo goal? If you were, mate, oh, unbelievable. That was my first year supporting Leeds, was 2000. And I just fell in love with that Leeds team. Under O'Leary, it was just absolutely quality. And I remember being relegated against Bolton, sitting in the pub with my dad, and just, yeah, worst day of my life. Then he said, about 3 nights. I'd say so, mate. I'd say so. It looked absolutely unbelievable. All of this, the memory now at this stage, isn't it? Like when you look back to it. I remember watching Leeds and the Champions League on ITV at the time, and the yellow Strongbow shorts. I remember watching was it Lazio, Alan Smith? Did Alan Smith get 2 or did he get 4? There was definitely one. I remember it was a soaking wet day. It was absolutely lashing, and it was a true ball played to Smith, and he dinked the goal. I think it was against Lazio. I think we won 4-0. I don't know if Smith got 2 or if he got 4 that day, but absolutely loved Alan Smith. I know it's obviously controversial because he ended up at Scum, but yeah, absolutely loved Alan Smith. The white hair, white boots, number 17. He was absolutely class, wasn't he? What a player Alan Smith was. And only if he didn't go to Scum, I'd say he'd probably have a statue outside Ellen Road if we're honest, because he was class for us, wasn't he? Wasn't the 4 goals against the German side? Yeah, was it not Lazio? I'm trying to think who it was. Oh, maybe it was the German side, actually. Yeah, now that you're saying it. Yeah, now that you're saying it. Yeah, it wasn't Lazio. Yeah, I was too young at the time. I was 2000. I'm 94, so 2000 I would have been 6. So yeah, forgive me if my memory's a bit off. Long time ago. The early days of Leeds. My prime supporting Leeds United was when we had Neil Kilkenny, and who else used to play in the middle of the park for us? Neil Kilkenny and Ian Westlake. That was my day supporting Leeds United. Patrick Snorbo at the back. He was quality. Patrick Snorbo, what a player he was. Casper Ankergren in goal. Yeah, they were my prime day supporting Leeds United. Oh, he scored again, but I think it was someone like, yeah, I do remember now. Now that you said it was a German side, I do remember. I thought it was Lazio. I think we did beat Lazio though, didn't we? That was when we had the group of death. I think we were in with Madrid that year. Madrid, AC Milan, and Lazio, I think, wasn't it? Or Besiktas. I remember it was 2 different years. It was definitely 2 years we got a bad draw. It was also over the other place in the penalties when Bregford. Oh, still to this day, that Bregford goal at the Stratford end was just especially I think we were in League One the season before that. They were just after winning the Champions League, and I've loads of friends that are Scum fans, and I never milked it so much as what I milked it that day. That was just absolutely quality, wasn't it? And I think it was even better, like the goal itself was just like, it really rubbed it in the face, like just trickling into the back of the net. But even the commentary, like I still have it in my head, like class, absolutely class. Another goal that sticks out in my mind was Howson's goal at Carlisle. Do you remember to get to Wembley? Howson's goal on the Bobbly pitch. Class, unbelievable. Yeah, they do. Leeds do. They give you some great memories, but they like to put you in an early grave like today, where you just want to feel like what's even the point. But then you take a breather and you think about it and you go, oh, look, back to sporting them again. I love them again. Look, it's only an old hiccup today. Remember Becchio against Millwall? Yeah, that sound, that noise. I wasn't in the stadium, but I remember watching it, and the noise was just absolutely unbelievable at Ellen Road, doesn't it? Gonna wrap it up in a couple of minutes, guys, because we are getting late. I only realised it. I was only trying out this this whole live thing to see how it goes. Myself and Dylan have obviously been toying with the idea of going live now for a while, and I just said I'll pop on and see how the live out goes. And I've actually been enjoying it. We're nearly an hour on it. It only feels like 20 minutes. So yeah. Danny, if you're not subscribed, pop in, subscribe on the video. We'd love to get you involved in the videos. We give you a shout out as well, mate. The game against Brentford was on Beckford, actually. No way. Beckford was class, wasn't he, mate? Beckford was so good. Beckford and Becky, that partnership was just, that was class. B&B, unbelievable. Loved Becchio as well. Becchio was class. When Beckford kind of went, I remember being heartbroken, but Becchio did more than stand up to the mantle, didn't he? He was absolutely class for us. I actually missed Amy's comments up. Amy Tolan says, at least it's not like the atmosphere, Liverpool and scum. It will never get to that. Yeah, true. When you see the atmosphere in Anfield and Old Trafford, it's absolutely dead, isn't it? Where Ellen Road will never get like that, And I think it's just passion. Like, I just think been traveling over to Leeds now. I think the first time I went over was when I was 13, so I'm traveling over to Leeds now a good while, and it's hard working city, isn't it? And Leeds fans just wear their heart on their sleeve, don't they? So yeah, let's go. It's getting late. So Danny says, yeah, let's go. It's getting late. Been nice trying to. Yeah, you too, Danny, mate. Yeah, don't forget to pop a subscribe on the video and the notification bell, and when we go live again, we'll get you on for an hour chat. Yeah, guys, so I think we'll wrap it up there. Enjoyed the first live on Only Leeds Bros. Been a bit of crack, and good chatting to you all. And yeah, we'll get more lives going soon. And don't forget to subscribe, hit your notification bell so you don't miss anything that goes on the channel. So talk to you again soon, guys, and all the best. Have a good weekend. Enjoy.